finished 8th and 7th, respectively, in Latin America. Take the results of Immortals going undefeated on Coastline in the regular season through only 2 games with a heavy grain of salt, especially considering the entirety region of Latin America does not play Coastline. It was one of the most banned maps of the entire season in Season 9. It's been a map that has been avoided like the plague inside of Latin America. It will be up to Immortals to be able to transfer their regional play into international play on a map like this versus a team like Evil Geniuses that have played a crap ton of Coastline, won a crap ton of games on it, and they're looking to put the final nail in the coffin for Immortals.
Yeah, but as stated earlier, Coastline, kind of a soft spot for Evil Geniuses in certain aspects. I mean, this is the map where they lost to G2, then Penta at 6 Invitational 2018, where Pengu had that nice 2K there right at the tail end of that round to have them hoist the trophy after being down 2 maps to 0. So, again, that was a long time ago, and the last time that EG made it out of quarters was a long time ago, so we'll see if they can find success here. Will they be able to finally break the mold?
Well, it'll be up to the next 2 maps to decide that for Immortals. And honestly, if you're an Immortals fan out there, you've already seen your Latin American counterparts in FaZe Clan make it into the semifinals tomorrow. Immortals gonna have to win 2 maps in a row, something that has not been done, or sorry, we haven't seen a map 3 yet all day, and you're gonna have to lose the first map, then win back-to-back, something we haven't seen all day if you're an Immortals fan, to make it into the semifinals and knock all of North America out. That would be all of North America going out in quarters yet again. I don't know how many times we've said that before in a Pro League final, but it's happened quite a few times.
As a resident NAer, I really hate to see
it stings.
I really hate to say this, but as is tradition at this point, we just can't make it past quarters, man. We just can't. So we'll see if they're able to break the mold once again and make it past quarters, or will IMT join their brethren of LATAM in the semifinals tomorrow?
I think the last North American team to make it out of a quarterfinals in a Pro League final was Rogue in Atlantic City. So just about a year ago to the day.
Didn't Rec make it to semis at SI? Because they
semis, yeah, not at a Pro League final.
Okay, all right. I respect it. I respect it. Okay. I will say one thing, though, as we are delving now into Coastline. We are in the action phase here, but we're going to have a ban of Thatcher once again, which on Coastline is a little weird because you do not need hard destruction for this map at all. And as you see with Evil Geniuses, they didn't bring any hard destruction. Not only that, but there's no Thatcher on the field, so why would you in the first place?
And as far as the Valkyrie, like, it could just be a pick of comfort for weaponry. We see a lot of Valkyrie being played on those fraggers inside of Latin America, and yet the Valkyrie being banned out has clearly been a displacement. We saw that in the FaZe stream game as well. Latin America are having its Valkyrie banned against it, but it's M-King to take down Geo to start things off. Geo as well on the Montaigne? That's peculiar, but it still doesn't work regardless. And Canadian will trade it out onto Bullet, though. So this will be the replay in your top right of the screen and just trying to bust open the barricade. Poor timing there. Good advantageous angle there. And NVK will also fall in the process as we're busy watching a replay.
Hopefully, lesson learned. That's not something you do with Montaigne. Do not lower that shield for anything. Have somebody shoot the barricade open for you. Do something along those lines. You do not want to try and show face because everyone wants to kill you. You are a massive presence on the map. This time around, it's going to work out for Immortals. Immediate refrag though, but MVK will also fall.
Gotta be worried about Navi's right now. The pole's still playing inside of Service, and Canadian was holding the angle from Kitchen window, but as he evacuates, that'll allow Navi's to rotate over into Kitchen. You got a lot of pressure from these hookah windows. Upside down rappel now is Canadian, and the run out coming out from Navi's, but he won't be successful. Canadian shuts that down in its tracks, and we level at man count once again. Slight health advantage on the side of Immortals, and honestly a lot more utility on the side of Immortals remaining. And for this site execute, I imagine this is going to be a rotate from Evil Geniuses over to Aquarium, as is typical on this site, but they might just try and barrage their way in through the hookah doorway.
It is a possibility. It seems like that is the answer for Young. He does still have 1 concussion on hand as well as 2 impacts, so can definitely make a lot of noise coming in through hookah, but Canadian will finally meet his demise as PX will rip his head off for him. That's going to put body count in favor of Immortals. Not too much time left, but Diffuser will start going down. We have to see some sort of aggression. That's what you need if you're an EG fan. Necrox going to take down PX. Everything seems to be going down as Cyber will claim the life of Necrox. It's all left up to Young in a post-plant situation. M-King, not very much health, but Cyber gonna have absolutely none. It's Young, it's M-King. They both have practically 1 health. 1 bullet'll do it! And it's gonna be Young. Once again, they were talking about him on the analyst desk. We talked about him last game. He's been showing up here at Season 9 Finals.
Everybody talks about Evil Geniuses. Everybody talks about this roster. Everybody talks about everyone except for Young. Give him the respect.
Put some respect.
Man has deserved over the years. Continues to show out. Geo, again, going to be initially picking the Montaigne. We're going to get some replays from that round here. And this is the last time that Geo played Montaigne. He received a bullet in the face. So we'll see if that's a 6 pick or not. I imagine that's going to be a 6 pick. Of all players on Evil Geniuses, I probably wouldn't put Geo on a shield, but he's going to stick it. Necrox is going to 6 pick over to the Ash. Interesting use of a 6 pick, but whatever, we move on. It's actually interesting that the player that's most known for playing shields on Evil Geniuses is Young.
Yeah.
And yet they're not using him on a shield. It's quite the conundrum that is being brought out here from Evil Geniuses, and their Montaigne play seems to be a heavy focus, something we haven't seen from them all season.
I feel like if you had to make EG a loadout, like people were guns, people were knives, everyone else on that roster is a gun. You know, they're pretty reliable, they do their job, but there's one thing that never breaks, and that's a knife, and that is Young. The man can do it all. I mean, playing Zofia, play Habana, play whatever you give the man, and he will show you consistency. And that has been Young since he started playing this game. I mean, look at the likes of Geo on their team. Highest KD in North America once again, 1.49. Second highest overall rating at 1.23. Only second to Hyper at a 1.29. And yet you have Young showing out for Evil Geniuses.
This is what he does on LAN, man. Young sits in the background, and honestly, he does his role to a T. He doesn't need to be any more than that, because like everyone on the analyst desk said, he is typically a support player. And yet when it comes to LAN, man, the man is unleashed. Alex talked about NVK being let loose and let off the leash to go and have his way with what he wanted to do on Oregon. That's Young on Coastline now. He doesn't have to play a breacher. He doesn't have to play Hibana. He can play whatever he wants right now in a flex position. And I fear for Immortals, they need to start isolating someone like Young and someone like NVK right now. That double-headed sword right now is actually terrifying for Immortals to stare down the gun right now.
Well, I think the main thing for Immortals is how did you not have any vision at all on that plant going down? Even a sound cue would have helped you out right there, allowing you to know that you can get aggressive, try and stop that man from putting the bomb down. But nothing happened. They got aggressive too late, and it just did not end up working out for them. Young, once again, with a very, very nice clutch. We're actually going to have a very weird stack of Bullet and M-King here on Cool Vibes Stairs.
It's a bit of a ceased engagement right now as no one's really taking aim in towards another. They're standing at a stalemate, holding the opposite angle for a rotation for each other. Nobody's really making that first move right now, making that aggressive push. And now Geo, taking your advice seemingly through the ethos, will not be opening up that barricade himself as a melee. And oh look, M-King goes for the pre-fire, but he's got his shield fully deployed. So better utilization of that shield, and now a frag grenade will be sent down towards the top of the Cool Vibe stairs. It appears to have done a little bit of damage to Bullet. Actually, that was M-King who would have been closest, so not doing any damage at all. Is possibly an ADS still stationed on those Cool Vibes and intact.
This is going to be a slow take for Evil Geniuses once again, and this is exactly what we saw from them in Oregon. They allowed Immortals to get aggressive, make the play that played into the hands of Evil Geniuses, get those free frags. That's exactly what they did the entire last map, and this is going to be no different. Smoke grenades of all different varieties going to be going down on the hookah door now, as Geo is just going to continue to eat these bullets.
That yellow toxic gas will be choking out Geo, but he doesn't actually take any damage for it. He's got to be more concerned about the lesion mines that sounded like they deployed right at the base of his stairs. Oh, Necrox, as he was just about to flank up the Cool Vibe stairs. Cyber will cut him down from behind. And now NVK has to go for the rotation over towards Sunrise, but Navi's on the run out now as well onto Canadian. NVK will trade one back as he pushes up Cool Vibes. Another one in his grasp, but can't find the final blow. Now he's got fire from multiple angles. Geo will press forth and try and take him down. In behind him, it's a complete calamity. And Immortals will take it out in an absolute circus act at the end of that round.
all you saw was blue there and the latter half of that kill feed, and that's all that matters. Immortals going to get all the frags they need for round number 2, and we're tied up once again 1-1. Bad thing is, we saw this the last time around on Oregon. Things went back and forth initially. 2 rounds immediately claimed by Evil Geniuses, then Immortals found their first round. So very close, and it teeter-tottered back and forth for the entire defensive side for Immortals. So we'll see if that happens once again. Here, we're going to be going towards kitchen service, which is a regular site here. The one that is the outlier is Penthouse, which you don't see a lot of teams play due to the fact that the entire actual Penthouse area is practically no man's land. If you try and sit in there, you die. You do not want to be in that area at all. But we're going to be holding down on kitchen, which means we're more than likely going to be seeing roamers upstairs holding those vertical angles.
I'm really at a loss for why Geo is continuing to play the shield. Like I said, Young would be most known on the Evil Geniuses roster for playing a shield. Canadian was doing it on Oregon. And like you said, Geo leads the team in KD through the regular season. The most amount of kills on the team through the regular season.
By a lot, by the way. It's like 50.
He would be invaluable with a gun in his hand, at least an automatic one, and without a shield in front of his face. And yet, the plan here for Evil Geniuses through the onset is we're going to stick him on Montaigne. And it seems like Geo just isn't quite as adept at playing the Montaigne as other members of his team. It seems like a very weird choice right now, is I guess the best I can go for. Now he's going to go for a spawn peek out towards Ruin Spawn, and NVK going to evade that quite cleanly, honestly. Read it like a book, and we'll back off to safety, and we'll continue to drone it out just to be sure. But we'll continue to focus in on this Geo play with the Montaigne. See if it has any more success than it's had in the last couple rounds. It hasn't done a whole lot for me right now on EG.
I can tell you a couple things, though, about LATAM teams in general. There's 2 things. One, they're extremely aggressive. No matter where they are. It can be 2v5. You're going to see aggression out of that last 2 alive remaining for a LATAM team. Secondly, very emotional teams. If they're playing well, they are unstoppable. But if they have any damage done to them along the way, it's very hard for them to fight back. Right now, 1-1. If you're an Immortal fan out there, you want to see them make the run now. Evil Geniuses, though, still going to be on this offensive half for quite a while. Still have 4 rounds to play through before that swap.
So the attack shaping up here for Evil Geniuses as they identify VIP balcony to try and push in through VIP, and it's, I don't know how many times we've said this today, but it's free real estate. Go on in and have yourself a ball, Evil Geniuses, as they'll have that top control, and Canadian on the sledge will begin to ripping up the floorboards, and he saw a member right below his sledgehammer on a camera, but hey, that's M-King going to be able to evacuate into the safety of kitchen, at least safety momentarily. Navi's still playing on that dock. He's playing in towards the Lamborghini doorway desk, and NVK, again, will identify this on the Twitch drone. Not rocking the Elite, so it's a little easier to see, but he does have pressure also from Sunrise and Blue Bar. Widespread horizontal roam right now for Immortals, and somehow NVK's, there we go. NVK's Twitch drone was lasting a little bit longer than expected there, but he'll come into the engagement, and he's going to have an Echo drone to contend with as well, as M-King will join the fight in terms of utility, disorient NVK, and he'll back off to safety. There's a minute left, and Evil Geniuses have done a good job of at least terrorizing the members inside of the kitchen, but they haven't done a good job of actually killing anyone off or doing any damage.
As you said, practically a roamer in every crux that you can fit him in downstairs. And Evil Geniuses is going to have to try and read into that, because if not, someone's going to get off a very important flank. Right now, it's looking like Cyber will be the one to do the damage. Necrox could get aggressive on the back of kitchen, but more than likely that's going to get met with something. Navi's, though, will find NVK on the other side of the map, and EG continues to twist in the wind.
Shots up to the floor, and Navi's with 2 on the round now, going huge on the dock. It's the press in from Geo, though. He makes it into kitchen service, but Cyber will tack on, taking down Necrox. It's just Young and Geo left alive and trying to push through with the diffuser, disoriented by the Yokai, and he'll have to back off while taking damage. Navi's going for 3. He'll collect onto Young instead of Geo. M-King will round it out with the MP5 SD. It's Immortals to bounce back now. This, again, the strategy from Evil Geniuses, a little questionable. I do like the response, though, from Immortals. They were trying to take those initial fights upstairs very early on and it was working about 50-50, but they're realizing that, like you noted earlier on, that Evil Geniuses are sitting back a little bit. They're sitting back on their heels, waiting for Immortals to pounce, waiting for them to spring forward and take those aggressive stances very early on in the round, like we saw with the Navi's run out from Kitchen on that pulse. Canadian read that beautifully. Same thing with that initial spawn peek. NVK read that beautifully in this round as the Twitch at the Ruin spawn from the Aquarium balcony. This time around, Immortals start to reel it back in a little bit. They still take their shots when they can, but they're much more poised in their decision-making on their shots, and they're much better timed, honestly. Much better backbone behind their push as well. Much better distance between each other as well for a possibility of a trade.
Well, if you're Evil Geniuses, the ball is now in your court to make an adjustment. You see that Immortals has read into exactly what's going on, and granted, it did take them a little while. Took them a full map and a couple of rounds in Coastline, but they finally figured out the formula to try and battle back against Evil Geniuses. Now, once again, ball in their court, they're going to have to try and make an adjustment in order to fix this problem. It might be aggression, it might be that, but Evil Geniuses, of all teams, we haven't seen them really have that hyper-aggressive playstyle against a lot of teams. I mean, we've seen it against like the likes of G2, but we really haven't seen it against anyone else. I would say the only other team I've seen them get that super aggressive playstyle against is Reciprocity.
It's fair, and we've seen how those games have gone in the past, with Reciprocity currently leading that season series, or I guess lifetime series, with the current iterations of each roster. Necroc still playing the Ashe, and hasn't had as much impact on the Ashe as he was having on Oregon as the IQ on the attacking side. Clearly just a different mindset here on the roles, and finally Giobi swapped off. He's no longer bringing that Montaigne. He's now swapped over to a Glads, where I imagine he'll be much better suited to perform, and this is honestly a change that I think should have come a little bit quicker from Evil Geniuses, and now Navi's will get droned out at the top of the theater stairs, but he's able to bail out just in time as that F2 raining terror through that wall almost connected under the head of a vaulting Navi's towards the base of the stairwell. The Twitch drone will come out from NVK to try and track him down a little bit longer, but he evades capture for the moment on the side of Evil Geniuses, and for Evil Geniuses, a slow push here. Geo still in spawn, droning. This is taking a minute to shape up for a blue bar, sunrise bar push. Typically, you'd have a little more top control by now.
They actually have control of the entire upstairs. They just don't know it yet. Everyone's downstairs for Immortals. They're just more or less playing an entire blanket roam. Everyone is in every room just like we saw them the last time around, but last time it was kitchen. This time it's double bar. Bullet currently inside of offices. Navi's over in security. Cyber's docking him up currently, but we don't have a single body set up for EG downstairs.
So you can see the floorboards getting ripped up now by Canadian as the Sledge will make his way into Billiards and fashion himself a rotate into Hookah. This hatch being left unreinforced now will be a prime target for Canadian to take advantage of. The drone's coming downstairs, but yet again, Immortals simping a little bit of their strategy from last round, where they play the full set horizontal rather than a vertical roam, and they're not really taking those fights early on. You saw Navi's early on try and take that engagement up the top of the theater stairs, where we see a spray of blood, but hey, Cyber's got the dock, juicing back up to 100. No casualties there, and NVK actually comes away worse for wear there. You just utilized a lot of your utility. That's what it's there for.
Well, the biggest thing right now for Evil Geniuses is they just need to put some weight on their entry fraggers. Actually entry frag. You guys have control. You just have to get your opening frags. You have to make them make a mistake, because Immortals is basically playing your game. They're just waiting for you to do something. And Young will be the first one to do so, but only 25 seconds left on the clock when he got that frag. They're going to try and just full send it right through into Sunrise Bar. Navi's will claim a life. Things are starting to go down here with Evil Geniuses and Immortals. Diffuser will be one of those things. Canadian will take down Navi's. Young hasn't started the Diffuser just yet. Plenty of Toxic Babes still left, and Cyber will find Young. That's going to be Diffuser down, and that's Evil Geniuses walking away with it. It looked like Immortals was going to run, but no. Evil Geniuses with a 25-second execution will win the round.
And I mean that round, Young just doing circles. He's doing donuts in the middle of barbed wire, choking on smoke. No idea where to go, no idea where to plan. It seemed like it was pandemonium in the communications for Evil Geniuses in that round. That was a very discombobulated attack in towards the objective. I mean, it worked out, and a beautiful shot there from Young really sets the tone early. But again, like you said, Evil Genius has taken way too long. Seems like Immortals have started to learn what they're up against here as far as the patience from Evil Geniuses. And there needs to be a counteractive measure now from Evil Geniuses to try and set the tone a little bit earlier. Take the fight to Immortals, because right now they're not getting any progress on any of their attacks right now. They're waiting into the dire seconds, and they're waiting for Immortals to make that crucial mistake in the end. And there wasn't even a crucial mistake made there by Immortals at the end. It just came down to pure trade potential in the objective. And Evil Geniuses came out on top just narrowly.
Well, again, it goes back to Evil Geniuses and just not putting any weight on their entry fraggers. I mean, they have some of the best fraggers inside of North America, and they're not doing anything with them. I mean, the biggest thing for Immortals right now is, as you said, they play a heavy horizontal hold. That means there's only one person per room, which means you get a one-on-one. Worst case scenario, you play for refrag. And Evil Geniuses is not currently doing that. They're getting punished at every step of the way. That last round just not going in Immortals' favor.
Well, back to a hookah defense we go. And Geo now continuing to revolve around operators and not really find a home just yet. Everyone else on Evil Geniuses sticking with the mainstay operators that they've been rocking since round number 1. But as we enter round number 5, Geo now plays his third different operator of the day, hopping over to a Capitao, which wasn't banned out this time around. And we've been talking about the strength of Capitao. That's eluded our minds for at least one map on Oregon in the first map of this best of 3. But for the other 6 maps of the day, it was a pretty big focus for a lot of teams. It was the strength of the new Capitao bolts, their ability to drop from elevated surfaces on impact, and honestly, it's been a hard set conversation on Twitter as well. It's been fun to read through those tweets.
Cybers and Navis are actually locked in a constant battle over here with Canadian and also his partner, but Canadian will finally fall to the hands of Cyber. It's going to be all left up to Geo and Young over on this side. Actually, Necrox is going to be over inside of the hallway. Playing inside of VIP, he's going to down Navis, finally claiming the life of him. It's going to be all up to Cyber over here in 90 hallway to try and find any more progress. Either that, or he can show face and try and waste as much time as possible. But again, Latam, I'm going to expect the aggression. That's exactly what we're going to see as he full sprints in. But NVK and Necrox got an answer for that, and it's going to be body count in favor of Evil Geniuses.
It's going to come down to the anchors of M-King and PX, and we talk about picking up the pace, and there's a beautiful example of that from Evil Geniuses as they want to take the lead once again and continue to run away with it. And speaking of, the F2 ripping right through M-King, connect with a headshot as NVK, now PX alone in a 1v4. Vaults over the bar, makes his way into Aquarium as Evil Geniuses have no control here just yet, but they can honestly take the other objective with absolute ease, and NVK will do just that, pushing his way into the rotate, into Hookah, dropping PX, and it is a landslide round for Evil Geniuses as they ramp up the pace, and they start digging another nail into another portion of this coffin that they're fashioning for the last remaining Latin American representative.
You might see a tactical timeout here by one of these teams, but I don't think this is a smart time for Immortals to take their tactical timeout. If anything, you might see EG take one, but that's not going to be the case as we are going to be jumping into round number 6 here. Immortals wants to hold on to that tactical timeout as long as possible. That could come up massive on their offensive set, because right now, things are looking a little bit dire for them here on this defense. It feels like EG has made the adjustment that they needed to. They put MVK in a position to just try and frag out of his mind, and that's exactly what he did. Every single one of his kills in that last round was a headshot. You can call the man a guillotine. He's ripping him off. I mean, come on.
He's also got the F2, one of the most powerful weapons in the entire game. So, hard not to see why NVK is performing, and I think Alex put it beautifully earlier on. He's been let off the leash. He was in more of a flank hold position for the longest time, and that was his role. And a lot of people looked at just the kills for NVK and said, you know what, this isn't the old NVK. This isn't what he used to do. Well, it's a different role. He's still executing the role to a T. He's still flank holding beautifully. The rest of the team wasn't really performing on the entry. They put Nate back towards a fragging position, and look, they've let him off the leash. He's no longer hard stuck on Thatcher, holding an angle from outside of White Van in Oregon, for example. He's still flanking a little bit as the Maverick on Oregon, but he was able to jump into the engagement and jump into the fray and get involved in the action a lot more. And once that blood gets flowing, it's hard to cool off NVK. He's been a mad performer so far, and this has just been a beautiful demonstration of his skill that was always there, just a little forgotten by some of the, I guess, the fair weather fans.
We had a conversation with their head coach a long time ago, Gotcha, and that was actually a question that we asked him. What happened to NVK? And he said, what do you mean what happened to NVK? He was never gone. You can still give him Ash and he'll kill 3 people in 5 seconds. It does not matter. It's just the current role that he's in. If we ever want to switch him back and you ever want to see that demon show face again, it will happen, and it's happening right now. So as we are going to be delving into round number 6, this is going to be the last round before possibly the last role swap of this matchup. So, will Evil Geniuses walk away 4-2, or will Immortals tie things up before the split? As of right now, you can see that aggressive playstyle coming out once again for EG. Last time we didn't see too much of that, but this time around we will, and we're going to claim first lives here as NVK is going to open a very unusual spot that we don't see too often, but Bullet with a refrag onto Canadian, and that's going to be no more hard destruction, but again, it's Coastline. You really don't need it.
Canadian been pretty much a non-factor in this map specifically. He was doing a little bit better on Oregon, but here on Coastline, he hasn't really been needed, and he hasn't been much of a deterrent for Immortals to really take aim. He got that first kill earlier on Sledge, reading that pulse run out, and as from there, I mean, he hasn't really done a whole lot, but the rest of the team has been filling in his place just fine. You can hear that telltale sign of the M249 outside a kitchen window. Ripping that thing open will be Geo's once again. He has an automatic weapon in his hands, and he's looking to slay some more lives. Young carrying the diffuser as the hard breach has now been felled, as Canadian will fall, and you trade out the Doc for Hibana. On any other map, that's a good trade for the defense. On Coastline, that's not exactly the case. You could have used the Hibana pellets to punch open holes into the service wall, as Kitchen's really, I mean, Penn Theater would be the site where hard breach would be best utilized. Yeah, you can still get the job done here with soft destruction from above.
NVK gonna read into Bullet standing behind the Lamborghini desk, but M-King's gonna read into him as he's going to have the counter. Necrox goes for the gunfight, but he's gonna deal less than he takes. This diffuser's gonna try and go down by Young. He's kind of in between a rock and a hard place here. He's gotta win out these gunfights, but who else would you expect? Especially on land, PX is gonna go down. 20 seconds left as Necrox will meet his maker. Geo, though, will find yet another, and Geo with 2. It's all left up to Cyber to try and make something happen here for Immortals on this split, but Geo, again and again, here with the M249 to put him up 4-2 with the split.
What did I say? Give him an automatic weapon, and Geo will do things. It's a beautiful resiliency there from Evil Geniuses. They go up 4-2 at the half. Already up 1 map, looking in to make it back to the semifinals for the first time since 2016 at a Pro League final. Let me specify. Yes, I know they've done things beyond the quarters at majors. Pro League final, because I don't want to see the tweets about it.
Do you realize how old that makes me feel?
2016, that was a lifetime ago.
Yeah, well, geez, what year is it?
We'll never know.
Yeah, I mean, really. Anyways, so we are going to be switching things over. Switching gears as Evil Geniuses will be on the defense. We'll see if they try and keep up with the same aggression that we've seen so far. And we've actually seen some really crazy angles. Angles I've never even seen a kill come from. I mean, NVK, what was that inside of couches next to billiards? I mean, you blow open the wall, you're looking down in the courtyard, smoke's just la-di-da dancing through the doorway and gets shot. Oh, excuse me, it was Doc. I apologize for that. Looked like smoke. I apologize. I saw a mask. That's all I know. Anyways, that's besides the fact. NVK, first kill I've seen from that ever. So, I mean, hey. Immortals, though, going to be on the offensive side of the things. Now, here's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see them throw literally everyone through a single door ever again. Don't do that. That is a no-no. Don't do it. Again, it's Coastline. There's plenty of ways to try and take these sites. This is a lot more open to whatever you want to do than Oregon is. Let's see some creativity.
I think, honestly, those rounds on Oregon, where it came down to it, is a little bit of desperation and not having an answer, really. They could not find a countermeasure. They could not find a strategy that worked. They were backs against the wall, clock ticking down against them towards midnight, and they had to make a play. So they thought, hey, let's pick up the pace. let's try and really, really ramp things up on them, because we've seen it work against EG before. We saw Fnatic in Rio absolutely dismantle EG with that kind of sporadic, chaotic play style. Seems like Evil Geniuses, at least in the very brief window we saw those instances happening, have clearly figured out what they need to do in those scenarios when things start to go off the rails. They've done a brilliant job reacting to those scenarios. But now it'll be a blue bar and sunrise bar defense for Evil Geniuses as they begin their defensive half. They only need 3 more rounds to send us home in the quarterfinals day, and they'll be on Championship Sunday. They'll be in the semifinals. They won't quite be to the finals just yet. They'll be in the semifinals at the very least.
Closer and closer they come. They only need 3 rounds right now in order to get to these semis. And
so for Evil Geniuses as well, if they were able to make it to Championship Sunday into the semifinals, they would have to go through all of Latin America, as FaZe would be their next opponent should they be able to surpass Immortals here and grab the necessary 3 rounds of victory. Frag grenade being tossed into the cubby, and a bullet will connect onto Necrox. NVK, where is that ADS? None to be found, but it could have been Navi's as he had a Twitch drone inside a site, inside a prep phase. That might have been a massive shock to Necrox, but there goes your smoke. A lot of utility and a clutch performer in the endgame.
Those toxic babes not going to be able to be used anymore since Necrox lays lifeless on the floor of Sunrise Bar, but we're still going to have Young, and we're still going to have an Alda in play. And when you have an Alda, you can do literally whatever you possibly want. That's going to be yet another life taken down, though, as MVK will lose his. Evil Geniuses currently lying in the wait with 3 against 4.
And VK tried to rotate back in behind the Cool Vibes bar. Sorry, the Sunrise bar. M-King will take down Geo as well. So now to 2-man disadvantage. It's Evil Geniuses on their back foot for seemingly the first time in this matchup. Young again in through the soft wall, going for 3 on the round, but can't quite connect. Burning alive at the hands of the asphyxiating bolt and laying prone inside of the cubby will be the member of Immortals who jumps in. Navi's will fall. 3 on the round for Young, trying to go for a 4, but as he turns to his side, PX will take him down with the bearing 9. Immortals able to quickly respond with an attacking round of their own, and that looked like there might have been a barrel on that bearing 9, but there certainly wasn't an optic.
I mean, do you really need an optic? It's the center of your screen. That's all you gotta know. That's all. Good round there for IMT, opening things up with that frag grenade onto Necrox. Yeah, there was definitely supposed to be an ADS intended to be there, but more than likely it did get twitched by the likes of Navi's. And just overall a very good and smart round by IMT. They took their time, they established exactly what they wanted to do, and they executed almost perfectly. Again, kind of a scare there with Young literally mowing everyone down that peeked him, but in the end, PX able to find the frag. That's all they really needed. Now we will be heading upstairs to Hookah, abandoning ship pretty early on here for EG.
Well, instead of going back downstairs, the Sunrise Bar and the Blue Bar, going to be Evil Geniuses heading topside to Hookah and Billiard to try and extend their lead and maintain a 2-round advantage in this competition. You gotta worry about Immortals running things back here. On the attacking side, they have the advantage of being able to be a little more aggressive than on the defensive side, and that was clearly evident on the defense for Immortals. They started to slow down, so Evil Geniuses had to ramp up in response on the attack, and that seems to be what Immortals are gonna try and go for here, is they definitely picked up the pace on the attacking side in their first round. Young gonna be playing the Alibi, a well-debated operator as far as its utility and usefulness, but nonetheless, a lot of soft destruction, a lot of maneuverability, a 3-speed with a very good gun as far as rate of fire is concerned. And Canadian, talked about him being a little absent, but Cyber will fall. The MP5K on the hands of the Mutant only loses 25 HP in the process. And of all members of the attacking squad to take down, you want to take down Cyber, and you want to take down... What?
Where?
Huh? Was he repelled on the window?
I don't even know how that happened. I am flabbergasted right now by what just happened. I don't understand that at all. That doesn't make sense. Logic, geometry, none of it makes sense. It's out the window. Anyways, M-King, rest of Immortals. Going to have to try and pick up the bag here and find something. Not going to have very much sight execution utility with the tactical bow off the board. So More than likely, Evil Geniuses is just going to lie in wait and see if Immortals wants to get aggressive. Again, a lot of these LATAM teams, it doesn't matter how many people that they have alive, they'll still be aggressive.
So as my friend Alex mouths at me from across the way over at the analyst desk, he was going for the pixel peek at the bottom of the window with the very bottom portion of that barricade punched open. So, I got a little bit of damage onto Navi's as well, as the Twitch will fall off of the aquarium balcony.
As he showed us a very
nice, he walked over and showed us an
nice
actual diagram of what I then explained 3 seconds earlier. So we're good.
Zeronic, everyone. My gosh. Anyways, that's besides the point. This is round number 8. 4-3 currently in the lead for Evil Geniuses. And if you guys are just joining us, last map was Oregon, which EG won pretty handedly 7-2. But so far this round, after that initial frag by the likes of Canadian onto Cyber, not too much else has really happened. Well, as soon as I say that, Canadian's going to get a second kill of the round. Utility use this time around. This is going to be M-King going down. It's going to be the likes of IQ.
Well, looks like there's still a mute jammer placed in the back of this VIP wall. NVK will claim another victim. Navi's to fall. It's PX and Bullet to work out of a 2v5 as they have 40 seconds to do so. Diffuser in the hands of PX as he needs to push in through VIP, but he's alone right now. The other member on his team is Bullet, inside of VIP, and PX is over by Aquarium. So they're separated at the moment. They're going to have to go for individual plays, and that's kind of what was their downfall on Oregon. We'll see if this will be the difference maker or it'll be another deterring factor for the game. Nonetheless, Evil Geniuses will lock it out nice and early. It's Canadian with 2, NVK with 2, and Young with 1 on the round. Evil Geniuses up 5-3, 2 rounds away from Championship Sunday.
I'm seeing double today. I can tell you that. We had this conversation on the last game that we casted. At a 5-3 scoreline or 5v whatever scoreline. This is the time to take your tactical timeout. You want to take it now. You only have one more mistake on a round that you can make. You can only lose one more round before they're at match point. This is the time to take that tactical timeout. And it seems that's exactly what's going to happen. IMT, tactical timeout, as they're going to try and think this one through before they let EG go at it once again.
So, honestly, backs against the wall. No better time to take a tac timeout than right now. And this will honestly give Evil Geniuses a chance to recuperate as well. Regroup, talk things out, figure out what they want to do as far as defensive sites they want to rotate to. They tried the Blue Bar and Sunrise Bar. Didn't go so hot. They go up to Hookah. It works out pretty well. Do they want to return to Blue Bar? Do they want to head to Kitchen? Do they really want to try their hand with Penn Theater? A lot of questions up in the air, especially as the directory, you've only got to win 2 more rounds as some ear-piercing sound comes flying out to the stadium. We're waiting for the return of Immortals and Evil Geniuses. Kitchen Service appearing to be the locked-in answer for Evil Geniuses as far as objective.
I'm going to assume so because, again, this is a tactical timeout, so it immediately locks in, traditionally speaking. So, reveal phase is going to come out. They can still 6-pick if they want to, but more than likely you guys aren't going to see that. But I can tell you this, Geo is actually going to 6-pick off of the Pulse. He's going to leave it on Castle, but he hasn't locked it in just yet. It'll get locked in for him, so it's going to be a Castle in place of the Pulse for Evil Geniuses. So, we are going to be going to the Kitchen site here, and biggest thing for IMT right now is they need to try and get those opening frags. They have the guy that has the most opening frags inside of LATAM. It's Navi's. He's got 33 opening frags for his team, which is a massive number. So we'll see if he can do it once again. He's going to be on Twitch, which, again, as we talked about earlier, the F2, a fantastic weapon in any gunfight. You don't even really need to click the head. I mean, the rate of fire mixed with the amount of damage each bullet does is just an absolute disaster for anybody on the other end of the barrel.
Well, M-King going to be pulling out the Montane, and Navi's Twitch drone again, doing a good job of getting in, getting some intel, taking away a few electronics at a time, and making it away to safety. I haven't really seen Navi's lose his Twitch drone in prep phase at all so far, and it's even done work inside of the objective in the midst of the chaos that is the prep phase early on. Got a lot of kill holes at the base of the Blue Bar wall as well from Courtyard for anyone to be playing from main lobby behind the desk. It's kind of a do-or-die moment here for Immortals, as you've really got to beware. You don't want to put your back against the wall with no opportunity to make a mistake. This is where the run must begin for Immortals to keep themselves alive. talked about heading into this season finals as it was going to be some of the craziest games, some of the closest games, yet they've all been 2-0s. And we're on a trajectory for a fourth 2-0 today. Incredibly close maps with a lot of overtime involved, don't get me wrong, but we have a significant lack of map number 3 today, and this could be continuing the trend for the entirety of quarterfinal Saturday.
Immortals now going to be focusing their sights upstairs as they're going to have to worry about some of these EG players roaming around upstairs in the penthouse theater area. But they're going to basically have free reign over all of service entrance with those established lines of sight. Don't really have anything open just yet, but they do have Geo upstairs. Not going to have too many people trying to get aggressive on him, but Geo will get aggressive on the front door as M-King tries to work his way in.
Well, now for NVK in towards the Lamborghini doorway. He spots the Montaigne of M-King, and PX low on HP. You'll have to be wary. Just a couple shots in rapid succession from that Aldo would lay him to waste. It'll instead just rattle off the fully deployed shield of M-King as NVK darts back and forth, and looks like Canadian was looking to get aggressive out towards that VIP balcony, as there was a member of Immortals laying in wait right beside the door. It seemed to be Cyber on the Ash, but Canadian will fall back now instead of taking that aggressive hard set stance as Cyber makes his way into the bathroom upstairs by Penthouse. Canadian rips all the way back into the depths of theater.
We have not seen IMT waste this much time on an offense in practically the entire matchup so far. But this time around, lying in wait quite a bit, not making the aggressive push, which is going to end up in Geo claiming the life of Cyber. No more Ash. PX, quite a bit of damage on him. Not much time to play here for the offense. It's always in the defensive side, especially when it's under a minute. Canadian, though, will take down Navi's. They see the Montaigne outside, but he really can't do too much. That pistol, not good in those long-distance battles. PX not going to win a battle anything inside of that smoke, especially with that low amount of HP.
You'd have to hit the hip fire of a lifetime. A frag grenade going to fall through the floorboards incidentally, and it won't do a whole lot. And NVK will finally take down M-King. The Montaigne to fall. PX on low HP. Bullet trying to send in as the last man alive for Immortals. It's almost match point. There we go. Canadian will wrap it up with a nice little bow. Evil Geniuses match point. Series point. Elimination point for Immortals to work their way out of. It's a 6-3 scoreline on Coastline.
This is something we don't talk about too much about these tactical timeouts. This is something you got to remember. It's not only a tactical timeout for Immortals, it's a tactical timeout for Evil Geniuses. Gotcha gets to talk to his guys. He gets to talk them all the way through it. He goes, hey, Immortals has been trying to counteract our aggressive gameplay that we've once again pushed towards them. Hey, you know what? Why don't we go back to the original plan? Why don't we just step back, let them twist in the wind, waste as much time as you want, because guess what? We're on defense. Time is on our side. That's exactly what they're going to do. It's going to pay out in dividends.
It was nearly a perfect round for Evil Geniuses, but one shy. It's a blue bar, Sunrise bar defense, selected, locked in, and ready to go for Evil Geniuses. They lost this last time around. They defended here, and it all started off with Necrox being naded out after an ADS we imagine was destroyed in prep phase by a Twitch drone. Either that, or a blatant error was made in the middle of prep phase by the Jaeger of NVK last time around. I'm going to assume the former, though. I'm going to assume that Navi's got his Twitch drone in there behind the bar.
I would assume so as well. And as we are on match point, once again, map and match point here. We'll see if EG can finally break the curse of the last almost 3 years. Can they make it out of quarters? We're about to find out. But biggest thing for me right now is that Immortals has not planted at all. The entire match. Not one plant has went down. No real objective control on offense, whereas EG has planted 3 separate times. Granted, that's not a lot over the amount of rounds that they've played, but still shows that they're more or less focused on site and getting that diffuser down.
Once again, it's Immortals trying to relay off of that individual play. The superstar nature of the members of their team clearly focused on being that individual performer and not working together as a team thus far. And it looks like Navi is going to have some more success with that Twitch drone, at least momentarily, as it looked like that was an evil eye that was placed in behind the Sunrise bar that had its bulletproof shroud opened up. Shotgun playing from above. This could be Canadian. It's Geo actually looking down through this pre-made hole. A Claymore just placed underneath as M-King will evade purview, backing off into the depths of Office. Bullet, though, will take down Canadian in the meantime, all the way over by Sunrise Entrance. It was an attempted run out through the kitchen window by Canadian, trying to put this match to rest, but instead, he'll be the one 6 feet under.
Gio's playing tag with this drone right now. He's finally going to get it inside of Billiards, but as you guys see the run out there, Bullet going to claim the life of Canadian. It appears that IMT is ready to try and take over this double bar. They're going to sledge open the castle, start getting some lines in sight deep into sight. First frag grenade going to be coming out from Bullet. It's going to be allocated behind the bar, not going to hit any marks though. As actually all of Sunrise Bar has basically been abandoned. Necrox is currently playing in the hallway under Cool Vibe stairs. Going to rotate in now that he knows both of the frag grenades are gone by Bullet, and they're going to assume that no one has rotated in. So more than likely a very smart play here by Necrox on that smoke can make a massive play here with that SMG-11.
Holding the top control still without contestation is NVK, is a bit of a flank now towards, they're actually barricading up the door as Gio is locking M-King into place inside of Office, as that CCTV rotate will be cut off by a wooden barricade. Not the biggest impediment towards a rotation, but at the end of the day, it'll still be a sound cue nonetheless, as Gio most likely will try and play inside of Courtyard to defend Blue Bar. Although, heavy stack right now for Immortals inside of the Sunrise Entrance. 2 inside, 1 outside the door, and NVK angling in onto a 4th outside the kitchen window. This is a lot of focus and a lot of pressure with not a lot of results to show for it for Immortals, as they're stalling out to the utility being deployed by Evil Geniuses.
No tactical babes on hand for Necrox, and no more life as Navi's will claim that. Cyber will follow it up though. NVK gonna go on a rotate, he's gonna claim his life. It's all left up to NVK as he'll find yet another one. 25 seconds, but he's got Diffuser down on the couch, excuse me. Navi's and Cyber, the only 2 left alive for Immortals. They've both shown individual prowess throughout the day, and they're going to have to do so yet again to try and beat out NVK, and Cyber will go on the rotate. He'll claim the life of NVK, and we're going at least 1 more round.
The Blue Bar and Sunrise Bar there for Evil Geniuses, still clearly an issue. The problem being that Evil Geniuses now have the availability to rotate elsewhere. They can go back up to Hookah and Billiard should they choose to, and that's exactly where they will aim to go. Dangerous proposition for Immortals now, as the last time they attacked this site, it did not fare well for them. They were left in a 1v4. So, for this objective now for Evil Geniuses, it's quite simple. Lock it down and replicate what you've done previously. For Immortals here, this is where adaptation needs to come through. Like you said, we haven't seen a lot of push for a plant there. There was actual site control there inside of Sunrise, but the man carrying the diffuser ultimately died on PX. So at this point, you're probably looking for an Aquarium rotation. We haven't seen a lot of Aquarium focus at all in this game, which has been quite surprising to say the least. There's been a lot of Hookah focus, and it hasn't really led to much site control at the end of the day. There's been a bit of VIP push, but as well, hasn't done a lot to stall out rotations, hasn't done a lot to really impede the progress of a defender of stalling. And honestly, it's a little shocking to see that both sides on a coastline game completely ignoring one of the most crucial pivot points on the entirety of the map.
I mean, as you said, it's a free rotation. There's a hatch there. You can drop down to offices, and you can even jump down to Courtyard by the hallway that's legitimately right next to that room. So, going back a little bit to the last round, I'll say this. Evil Geniuses more or less had that in the bag. All they had to do was just continue to let IMT twist in the wind, and that's not what they did. They showed face a little bit, IMT gets their initial frags and just takes over site. Granted, did not try and get the diffuser down more or less because the diffuser got shot in his face, but still going to be able to claim that round as it did come down to NVK in a 1v2.
So for the round here for Immortals, again, the attack will coalesce outside towards Hookah mainly, and I imagine M-King will try and push his way in underneath as being able to spot out maybe Canadian on his cardiac sensor, or any of the alibi holograms, or the ADSs, or any of the evil eyes for Navis to go and find. It's going to be invaluable. And the freedom to be able to maneuver downstairs, knowing that Canadian won't be there down to contest, he'll have to have a partner come with him to cover his backside. And Canadian, currently over inside of Kitchen, will take down that pesky radio that always likes to distract everyone with those sound cues. But you've also got Young and Geo on the far side of the map in towards Penthouse and Theater. So a lot of map control on the top side held right now for Evil Geniuses. Canadian, the lone man downstairs for EG. He's going to run into a multitude of members as now they lose an Evil Eye on site in behind that pool table. Evil Geniuses going to have to contest with the extreme downstairs presence that is being brought by Immortals.
Netcroc's going to take quite a bit of damage upstairs as he was trying to play the corner on Couch, where you traditionally just throw a smoke grenade against the wall, prevent plant pretty easily. Don't even have to show face to do it. But not going to be going too well for him now, especially on such a low amount of HP. But Immortals, we thought they were going to get aggressive downstairs towards Canadian inside of Kitchen, but that's not going to be the case. They're finally going to go for Aquarium this time around. No hookah play, at least for this round. But Netcroc's going to be running low on those Toxic Babes. He actually does still have 2 in his hand, so he just used the initial one. You guys are going to be hearing the telltale signs of those ex-Kairos on the Couch wall. Netcroc is going to get aggressive. Is he going to claim any kills? He gets 1, but he gets immediately refragged by the likes of Bullet. Frag grenade still in hand for Bullet as he's checking for a flank, but nothing's going to come of it. Navi's will take NVK off the map for at least this round.
Now Canadian being forced to rotate back up the Cool Vibe stairs. Everyone had to abandon the objective. Geo on a flank now towards the top of Theater stairs and through luggage momentarily. He's going to have 2 bearing down on him, and a drone was spotting out Young, and he nearly evades the death from a frag grenade. Dropped to about 20 HP. Inside of luggage, though, there goes Geo, striking onto PX, and the head will be removed. Immediately traded off now by Navi's on that F2. So it's down to Canadian. It's down to Young to keep this and lock this game out right now, or we're going to be running 1 round away from overtime. Aggressive peek here from Young. Does a lot of damage on the Bullet, the man carrying the diffuser, but Navi's again striking with that F2, pure dominance on that rate of fire, and another one! That's 4 on the round for Navi's. Immortals staving off elimination once again. They continue to refuse to roll over. We're going to go the distance, at least in regulation on Coastline, a much closer game in comparison to Oregon.
And Immortals really playing the waiting game this time around. I mean, the flank was successful eventually by Evil Geniuses, but immediately traded out. Navi's lying in wait, playing one of his favorite offensive operators, usually on that Ash, but Twitch is a pretty good supplement for that. So we are going to be going into the last round here of regulation. We are going to have a tactical timeout by the likes of Evil Geniuses. Gotcha. Want to talk to the guys once again. Currently locked in for them on site is going to be Hookah, so more than likely we're going to see some adjustments on their site setup, especially with last time how Immortals took Aquarium instead of Hookah.
Waiting to see what the adjustments will be for Evil Geniuses. We talked about it. It was a 6-3 scoreline. The ability to hold out, the ability to lock out and send themselves to Championship Sunday. They've now surrendered that ability in consecutive rounds as Immortals continue to strike back with force. We're now 1 round away from overtime where everything draws even, and all that round advantage you had, all the momentum you had, starts to dissipate into the background and not really have much effect on the rest of the game. It all comes down to this round here, or it's going to be a complete reset for overtime. It's a 3-round overtime, no infinite overtime, and it looks like Evil Geniuses are going to head to the kitchen. Last time around they went to kitchen, it was a clean sweep nearly. Only losing 1 member on their side. It was a 1v5, and the last remaining member, I believe it was PX or Bullet. I can't remember who. And they were able to get a kill onto Canadian in the dying seconds before being immediately traded off. So for this one here, Immortals, again, going to have to change up the strategy. Last time around, they got stalled out quite magnificently by Evil Geniuses' Roam. Will the same thing happen? Will it hold true? Will Immortals be able to adjust and finally look like they have, I guess, a commanding force in this map? It seems like Immortals have been in the back seat for this entire game. They've just been responding. Finally, they've woken up a little bit. They need to wake up a little bit more right now to take control of this game and send it to Clubhouse.
Again, it's do or die right now. Only 1 round away is EG from going to semis. Again, have not been there for a very, very long time. They won it badly, but Immortals wants it badly as well. I mean, you're representing LATAM, one of the best fan bases in all of Rainbow6 Siege, especially the most eccentric, I would say. But after that tactical timeout, having a little bit of a word with their coach, we'll see exactly what they're going to bring to the table. Last time around, Canadian made his demise pretty early on, or excuse me, that was a previous round. Actually, last round on Cool Vibe Stairs, eventually losing that gunfight. But again, Immortals, throughout both of these maps, still have not had a plant down. They've just fragged out every single round. So I expect nothing but the same, to be completely honest with you.
Well, At least they've done a better job of prepping for that site control. Earlier on, it really did look like it was just a frag fest. It looked like Immortals were trying to play Team Deathmatch while Evil Geniuses were trying to play Bomb. And as the rounds developed throughout the maps, it has clearly turned into more of an objective-based game for Immortals, thankfully. You got MVK laying prone right now in behind the Lamborghini desk, and he's going to hit the deck in behind this wooden barricade. Cyber will back off to safety. No one really landing any shots here. It's so many pre-fires that there's going to be brand new holes in the walls here in a moment, but again, no one can land a shot. Now the flashbangs come soaring out, and NVK will be blind, able to vault in behind the desk, that castle barricade, and now Geo will come in support down the theater stairs. They all come filing out now as that castle barricade gets ripped open.
They can waste so much time here if they play this properly. Another one of the stun grenades going to go off, and NVK going to claim the life of M King. Geo going to attack on, and it seems like EG is trying to walk away with it. Bullet, though, will take down NVK with a grenade, as Navi's is all the way in sight, and Navi's going to take down Necrox. This seems to be an absolute blunder by both teams. Trades back and forth. That F2 ringing true right now as PX tries to get the diffuser down, but he's going to abandon ship.
Going for a reattempt on the diffuser now as Geo needs to rotate as well as Canadian into the main lobby. The plant is successful at the service doorway, and turning the corner in towards Kegs will be Canadian. Turning his focus as he's awaiting Geo. This is a smart play to make sure they can pinch at the exact same time. Navi's on low HP, will take just a few bullets to survive from those SMGs. Actually, honestly, only one bullet will really be all it takes to drop him to the floor, and they can reassess their focus towards Bullet and PX, who have both bailed out towards the surface doorway. PX is actually prone, laying on top of the diffuser. Geo takes down Navi's. They turn again back towards the service door. Geo with 3 on the round, 2 in a row. Frag grenade placed at the diffuser's base, and now you're looking for one to run out the main door and one to run out the service door on top of the diffuser. No time remaining, has to stick this. Geo is all the way outside, holding on the door, almost done, but no, Bullet in the 1v2, able to clutch up 3 on the round for a Bullet. We head to overtime.
Would you have it any other way, Flynn? That's their first plant of the entire day, and they're gonna win the round. Almost a very nice play there by Evil Geniuses, but going to get punished as they do try to run out the main door. Geo trying to stick the defuse, and Canadian going to lose that gunfight. So, overtime for the first time today between these two teams, and we're going to have Evil Geniuses still on the defense. So we'll see if they can continue to try and pick up a couple of rounds here. They did way better on their offensive half. They picked up 4. On the defense, they only picked up 2. So, both of the sides that they won were Hookah and Kitchen. They've currently got Hookah locked in here on the defense. Canadian currently staring down the barrel of a castle, but he's going to 6-pick over to the Echo. A little bit more deterrent for them to plant, which again, they have not done much of.
Yeah, and that round there, again, you have the 5v3 advantage if you're Evil Geniuses. You're ready to lock things up, and then it's a storming of the gulag coming out from Immortals in through that service door. Navi's taking full control of the match as he's done almost every round now on this run to push overtime. 3 consecutive for Immortals, all in the backs of the F2 of Navi's. For Evil Geniuses, it comes down to this. Are you really going to let this slip between your grasp and send us to Clubhouse? Or are you going to wrap this up now as you've had multitude of chances to do so?
I think the hard thing right now is a lot of Evil Geniuses fans are getting major flashbacks of what tends to happen with this roster and just this name in general. I mean, we've had different iterations. We've had Necrox as a coach. We've had Necrox as a player. We've had BC as a player. We've had BC gone. We've had Geo. We've had an absolute mantra of different EG rosters. But over these last couple of years has not been working out for them. Just not able to put the nail in the coffin. It's been so close, but a broken handle on the hammer so far.
So rappelling up towards the aquarium balcony now for Navi's, as he's really been that X factor for Immortals so far. Waiting to see what Immortals will elect to do on this attack and where they'll like to set things up. For Bullet, he also needs to be that supporting cast member for Navi's, as that's really been the tandem to do a lot of the heavy lifting for Immortals thus far in this matchup, not just only on Coastline, but on Oregon as well. For these two to be in play, it's going to be a different story for Immortals as compared to how they were looking on Oregon in the first half of Coastline, where it was kind of hit or miss as to whether who was going to show up, and really it was Cyber alone. For these last 2 minutes now, you're going to lose another Evil Eye inside of Billiards as this Twitch drone from Navi's, it's not just the F2 on Navi's, as I said before, that was doing so much work. You've got a lot of damage being done with these drones. And now Young is dropped to about 30 HP in an engagement from inside of Hookah. Not sure if that was just from outside the door from Cyber, or maybe someone out on the aquarium balcony took aim in towards him. But nonetheless, your Kaid of Young has now been dropped to about 30. And Evil Geniuses, not a lot of control elsewhere for themselves. They're really focused in on the objective right now, and less for Canadian and Geo on the opposite side by Theater.
I will say, though, Immortals is more or less doing the exact same, just has pure sight presence, nothing really around the map. We did see one person rotating over through luggage. It's going to be the likes of whoever's wearing that camo, because I truly have no idea. I'm going to guess Twitch. And I would be correct. Cool.
So, the Echo drone from Canadian going to disorient Navi's. Not really sure if they were able to spot out. I imagine they were able to destroy the Yokai drone, as it looks like there's only one remaining over by the VIP hallway. Flashbangs come raining in, and now that's Canadian moving his Echo drone into place. All the flashbangs come soaring out now, but a Toxic Babe and reciprocation coming out from Necrox. The Yokai almost in place to stop a plant, but if he makes his way in behind the bomb, if PX does, then he'll be just out of the purview of that Yokai drone. You've also got NVK laying in wait. There's only 20 seconds left, actually, as the round has been deceptively quick. And now Immortals in a 5v5 have to go for an absolute slaughter inside the objective to facilitate this plant. 10 seconds left, and Cyber pushing his way into Hookah will be the catalyst on that. It's a flurry now for Immortals. Geo strikes right back at the heart of Immortals, though, and now down. It's just Canadian left alive, but he has the Yokais. Can he stop the plant into the overtime? No, he stops it once, but the reattempt on the plant still going down. And Immortals, 4 in a row, put themselves on match point. Will we go to Clubhouse? Or will Evil Geniuses be able to storm back with 2 of their own?
4 rounds in a row for Immortals. And they haven't been able to do that all day. They didn't even get 4 rounds on Oregon. They only got 2. Only got 2 rounds on Oregon. So, IMT finally waking up here. And I mean, that explosive play style really working out for them right now. I mean, just look at the kill feed on this replay. Just blue absolutely everywhere. And honestly, that comes down to laying on the back of Canadian. You used that Yokai charge way too early. You were not at overtime. There was no way to try and stop that plant. At least wait for 1 to tick up, because you do have that brief second where you can't plant again. That was really only your saving grace that you possibly could have had in that round with that Yokai.
Well, now it'll be Evil Geniuses after 7 consecutive rounds on the defense and losing 4 of them in a row. They will now turn towards the attacking side, as we do have a role swap in overtime every round. It's the best of 3 overtime, which means that Immortals, after being on the precipice of being completely eliminated from the Season 9 finals here in Milan, now on the brink of sending us to map number 3 against Evil Geniuses. Complete dismantling, and that late round aggression coming out from Navi's and friends. Been doing a lot of work thus far. We'll go back to Hookah on the defense. It'll be Hookah and Billiards this time for Immortals to defend, and Evil Geniuses to attack. Not bring any hard breachers, in stark contrast to what PX has been bringing, which has been a Hibana basically every round.
Now, once again, Evil Geniuses' best side on this map was the offense by far. They've only picked up 2 defensive rounds, and there has been plenty that have been played so far. So they've played 7 defensive rounds, only winning 2. They've played 6 offensive rounds, winning 4 of them. So percentages, more than likely going to win this offensive round, if statistics are true. NVK going to start things off right, as Navi's will be the first one to bite the bullet, literally. And that's going to be onto Legion, which, the longer he's alive, the better he is.
Just getting a taste of your own medicine there is Navi's, as it's been the F2 on Twitch that he's been wreaking havoc with on the attacking side of Coastline in this matchup. So NVK serving him back a dish best served cold. Canadian now pushing in through Theater, and now through the Theater hatch now into Penthouse as he makes his way towards the 90 hallway. This far side push here, establishing a lot of long angles throughout the top floor of the map. But again, Immortals returning to their familiar ways of defending the bottom floor quite well and quite horizontally in the meantime for the objective. And it's a replay of the kill that NVK was able to grab onto Navi's. You can see the drones all coming out now through luggage and through 90 hallway. Evil Geniuses looking to go for a site execute in towards Aquarium, as is pretty typical. And PX will be their first impediment into making it in for a plant.
Just not putting any respect on that center square was Navi's. You always have to be aware when you're rotating through there. It's so easy to hold from up top. You have so many different lines of sight that you can punish from it. People rotating into VIP, people rotating through luggage into Aquarium, which is most of the upstairs and a lot of the areas that you want to try and tend to. But as of right now, EG going to be up on body count as Canadian's going to try and have an explosive entry here, but that frag grenade is going to get ADS'd by Cyber.
NVK was downstairs with his Twitch runner. He spotted out Cyber inside of Blue Bar. That Jaeger downstairs looking to play through these kill holes. So NVK looking to contest this, and Cyber not backing off, but through the drone hole. NVK is able to drop Cyber, a cheeky play. And now every member of Evil Geniuses standing pat at 100 HP. Toxic Babes being used just to prolong this round, as if they had their way, Evil Geniuses would have planted by now. Bullet getting prone inside a windowsill will at least drop and trade out Canadian, but the plant going to be coming down very soon from Evil Geniuses as they start to smother the objective. The last remaining Toxic Babe being sent out now from PX, placed right up against the wall. Young going for a rotation with diffuser towards 90. What's the inclination here? 15 seconds left, and they're going to have to absolutely overload the objective. The asphyxiating bolt comes out, and it's not touching anyone. M-King drops NVK, pings on the corner as Necrox turns and collects PX, vaulting through the rotation. Another one for Necrox at the base of the Cool Vibe stairs. No diffuser in hand. He doesn't have time to reload. He has to go, but Gio's getting the plant down inside of the pink bar, and Necrox with 3 on the round, able to save it for Evil Geniuses. And we're going to go all the way the distance on Coastline.
What a call by Evil Geniuses. The very last second that they could have made that rotation at all. And their diffuser carrier dies. Gio has to pick up the mantle, and they still try and get that diffuser down. Meanwhile, Necrox, oh my God, what was that?
Something we haven't seen all evening from Amar. But it seems like Omar has stepped into the stadium this time around, at least in that round, and we're going to go, like I said, the absolute maximum distance on Coastline. 7-7 scoreline. We will finish at an 8-7 regardless. In the next 3 minutes, will we decide with Evil Geniuses winning the best of 3 series, as all of their counterparts have done so far today, a 2-0 victory, or we, for the first time today, going to map 3 to round out the evening? We'll have to find out. It's a kitchen defense. It's Evil Geniuses on the defense. Can they shut down Navi's? They did it on the defense. Because honestly, this attack right now for Immortals, it lives and it dies by Navi's. You shut him down, all the dominoes fall after that, especially with their time control. Their time management has been horrendous lately on the side of Immortals. Find Navi's, execute him violently.
Execute him violently.
Execute him violently. And honestly, wait for Immortals to wait it out and get prepared for a bloody onslaught coming through that service door, which will most likely be the case again. The last time they defended this site, they had a 5v3 advantage. What does Navi's do? Bursts into the service door and grabs 2 of his own to level man count.
EG is reading into this heavily, though. If you guys look up at the top of your screen, you know that orange bar there that tells you all those operators? Let me tell you this. Smoke, Maestro, Mute, Echo, and Legion. That right there tells a tale of disaster for anyone that is trying to rush into a site. Specifically, that the fact that they are taking away information from the offense, and IMT has been playing heavily on that. They know where people are sitting, usually, and they're able to frag out because of it. Taking that information away is Canadian. We'll see if it pays out this time around. Last couple of times on Mute, he's died very early on. That's another tale of the tape. You don't want to see Canadian get fragged out initially. For Immortals, you want to see them lean back on that aggressive playstyle. If they get this opening frag, this could be the map.
Well, a lot of pressure in towards the Lamborghini doorway right now, and this is where NVK has been a focal point on the Maestro, taking aim at anyone who tries to tread past him outside of the doorway, and he'll be doing it again. The drone's just missing him as he ducks back underneath the lip of this desk, taking aim, can't find the finishing blow, but NVK will find M-King. And there goes your Jackal, there go your smokes, but we've seen it before, the site execute on this objective doesn't always require the smoke. It just requires Navi's bursting through the breach with an F2.
Yeah, it just requires a lot of blood and lead. And that seems like what Immortals is going to have to try and weigh on. Cyber staring down the window. He wants it, but more than likely there's a goo mine lying in wait that Young has placed at the bottom of that window. As they spin in the wind, Immortals has to try and find an answer. They have so much information now after that Twitch drone comes in, but Navi's on the other side of things. Bullet's going to try and open the door. Netcrocs will be the frag. No more toxic babes, as one of those breaching charges or breaching explosives will go off by the hands of Cyber. NBK is still locked in front desk.
Waiting to peek out and just narrowly avoiding another member. Canadian up top inside of VIP, but hearing this will be the member of Immortals. I believe it's not PX, sorry, it's Cyber outside of the kitchen window, spraying skyward with that R4. Triggering a Legion Mine now will be Navi's as it pushes into Hookah, but there goes Geo on the MP5, silenced, takes down Bullet. There goes your Sledge. Now commanding lead once again for Evil Geniuses. They don't have any smoke to stall out that rapid ingress through the service door, but Navi's making his way silently. You can see all of Immortals stacking towards the kitchen window. PX going for a full rotation to Sunrise with the diffuser, as Canadian will make his way towards the Cool Vibe stairs in an attempt to go for a flank. PX is now relocated to the kitchen window. Everybody's gonna have to send it in, and Navi's through the kitchen door while 2 vault the kitchen window. The Legion Mine doesn't get deployed properly, and they both make it in on the vault. Geo should still have an Echo drone remaining, and there goes Cyber. Navi's on the trade onto Canadian. Behind the deployable, the man with the diffuser is down. There's 1 second left. Navi's in a 1v3. Evil Geniuses to the semifinals against FaZe. North America has a representative on Championship Sunday in Season 9.
It's been a long time coming for this roster. We've seen it happen again and again and again. It's this time that they will finally make it to Championship Sunday. It's good to have you back, boys.
It's good to see as a North American representative that North America does not go home on the first day yet. Again, they gave us a scare, but Evil Genius is able to close out as the same fashion as all their counterparts today, a 2-0 victory. 8-7 requires going the distance again on Coastline, so it's just the Oregon games so far that have been ridiculously one-sided. Everything else has gone the distance. Interesting note, maybe your team should stop playing Oregon if the team losing it, but if you're winning those Oregon games, you're having a blast.
Yeah, I honestly feel like that's just something for you, because casters just don't like Oregon. It's just not nearly as fun as maps like this, where we go max overtime. That's way more fun. That's way more fun for you guys at home. This is way more fun for us. And, I mean, an absolute show here between IMT and EG. I mean, give a round of applause for Immortals. They really showed what LATAM has to offer.
It was a very, very close game on Coastline, especially, like I said, heading into this map. A map that Latin America does not play often. They avoid it like the plague. This is not a map that is regionally popular versus Evil Geniuses, who play this map the most. At least this is the map they've played the most in the last 6 months. And it comes down to the bitter end. An 8-7 victory on Coastline, a 7-2 victory for Evil Geniuses as well on Oregon. Immortals will go home, but Latin America will still have representation in the semifinals.
We'll say the best thing about this is now everyone has a representative on Championship Sunday. I'm sorry, LATAM, I truly am. Immortals look so very good on Coastline. I thought they had it in the bag, but it ended up jumping out, and EG's finally going to make it out of quarters.
It's been a long time coming, and you know, as you said a couple times there, it kind of felt like maybe this is the EG of old coming back. It got nervous, it got nerve-wracking. It was a beautiful game nonetheless. That's gonna wrap it up for quarterfinal Saturday. To wrap things up with an interview on stage is Matt with Amar. See you later.
Starks Flynn, thank you very much. Immortals, thank you very much. But it is Evil Geniuses on the Sunday. You'll have to play again. And I think your fans will be so pleased, obviously, to have you with that. You worked hard for that win. You make your fans work hard for wins as well. Oh my God, Evil Geniuses. You take us to the wire. We all pretty much thought that was going to 3. But Necrox, you're going to be playing tomorrow in the semifinals. Feels good? You got that energy about you of like, can't quite stand still.
I'm pretty pumped up. We haven't made it out of quarterfinals in a real long time, since Sao Paulo, I believe, which was like year 1 or year 2, season 1.
Yeah, year 2, season 3. Yeah, so well over a year ago, like 18 months ago.
Yeah, it's been a while, and we're really happy to break the curse, I suppose. Yeah.
I guess it has felt a little bit like a curse. We talked about it, I remember chatting with Canadian in those kind of terms as well. Let's talk a little bit about roles on the team. Things have changed a bit. Start of the season, 6 months ago now. Young was doing sort of Monty plays and getting intel that way. It feels like that role has actually become a little bit more Canadians. Whereas the Canadian with the woo that we used to see, that does seem to be a little bit more like Young on the team kind of lifting everybody up. What's going on?
So the primary reason for our role changes is literally to change things up. So usually when we get comfortable within our roles, we start to get into a slump because we're sort of doing the same things over and over and over. It's almost refreshing to put people in different roles. I am also in a different role. Currently I'm our entry fragger, and I don't believe I've played our entry fragger in a real long time. But yeah, that's the main reason.
I guess people have always talked about EG needing to make changes. You went coach, you came back in here, and we've talked about that before at other games and other finals. The easy thing for people to say outside of, these stages watching is, roster changes. What you guys are doing in role changes, and it seems to be coming together.
Yeah, in terms of longevity, you need to be able to play with a team for a long time, right? To build that connection with players, because otherwise if you constantly make role changes, you're not going to have that connection, and it's going to be a little inconsistent. We have made role changes in the past, just not nearly as much as other NA teams. The main reason is to build that connection.
And one more question for you. It feels, and it's slightly difficult to explain, but it feels like a slightly different EG. Like chatting to you guys earlier on today, and a big long day we've had, feels slightly different, feels slightly, should we say calmer, slightly more, still confident, but not maybe kind of that over-the-top confidence, outward confidence that we used to have.
Am I allowed to cuss?
I'd rather you didn't, even if it is basically midnight.
We're just tired of fucking losing.
There you go. I understand where you're coming from. Necrox and EG, you heard it. You know how they feel. We'll see some more of them tomorrow because Evil Geniuses are back in the semifinals.